This 15-year-old had an entire company created for her, only to go on to have what many consider to be the worst debut stage in K-pop history, appearing from the public eye and re-debuting in a girl group after plastic surgery. Well, at least that's how the rumors go.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Everything about I don't even rap, so what is this? K-pop?
Born August 30th, 1993 in Japan, Tanaka Sayori was the offspring of a Japanese father and a Korean mother. Following her father's death, she settled in South Korea with her mother. It's unclear just how much time passed between her arrival in South Korea and her joining an agency to potentially debut as a singer. However, at the time of her eventual debut, Sayori was in her third year of middle school and was going by the Korean name Baek Ji-hyun. Ji-hyun's training period was relatively short, only lasting about a year. At the time, South Korea had been in the midst of what was known as the schoolgirl debut boom, which saw the debuts of several female idols aged 15 and under. As a result, her debut may have been rushed to capitalize on this trend. On December 4th, her self-titled EP was released and Ji-hyun was introduced to the public as Ori, taken from her Japanese name. Buzz about this new young, soon-to-debut singer quickly began to spread online. After many struggles and months of preparation, on January 2nd, 2009, Ori took to the Music Bank stage to make her official broadcast debut with the song Snowfall. Audiences were shocked. Ori's name quickly began to trend online for days following the broadcast. Sites and forums were flooded with malicious comments about the singer. You could even make out some surprise and confusion on the faces of the MCs and other artists that performed on Music Bank that day. Criticism ranged from her poor vocal skills to her physical appearance. Many questioned how she was able to debut. To make matters worse, earlier in the same broadcast, before Ori had taken to the stage for her now infamous debut, IU had also performed and given a superior vocal performance. Like Ori, IU had also debuted at 15 just 1 year prior. Comparisons between the two from viewers was inevitable. Surprisingly, during this, another idol's name began to get roped into the controversy surrounding the newly debuted singer. Despite having no involvement whatsoever, Wonder Girl's Sohee was often brought up in conversations involving Ori, with netizens comparing their vocals and looks. Many also questioned why Ori debuted as a soloist instead of as part of a girl group like Sohee had. Years later, a former trainee revealed that the CEO of Ori's agency said he wanted to debut a ballad singer with an idol image similar to IU. Still confused as to how she was able to debut, rumors quickly began to swirl about Ori being the daughter of a broadcast network president, major CEO, or other industry insider. Accusations also arose that her agency had heavily photoshopped promotional images released before her debut. Despite all of this, on January 5th, just 3 days after her debut stage, the official MV for the song Snowfall was released. Some Netizens noted that the vocals sounded better than the live performance, but the video itself was a bit awkward. Others still went on to criticize her appearance, making comments that she needed to lose a few pounds. Around this time, rumors that her appearance was part of an ugly to beautiful concept her agency created began to pick up steam. Ori loosely translates to duck, and when you search her name online today, you will find many Korean sites where she was referred to simply as the duck. Many believed that her company was creating a narrative of an ugly duckling that will become a beautiful swan, similar to the children's story. Side note, the original story of the ugly duckling, written by Hans Christian Andersen, is way more effed up than the version you've probably heard. If you're interested in that story, I highly recommend checking out John Solo's Messed Up Origins video. I'll link to it down in the description. At the time, it was thought that this concept would play out over time through comebacks and with the aid of weight loss and plastic surgery. However, we would never see this outcome as Ori quickly disappeared from the public eye. So what happened here? How did things go so disastrously wrong? To answer that, we have to go back to the weeks leading up to her debut. Netizens, hoping to find more information about the new singer, tracked down and began to circulate old photos of Ori online, which led to horrible comments and bullying. This was the start of Ori's alleged cycle of depression and binge eating, which would eventually lead to gastrointestinal diseases that would plague her for many years after. An alleged former trainee from a sister company of Ori's former agency had this to say on the note of her appearance, the photoshopping allegations, and her debut stage. With the album, there was a lot of attention to makeup, and of course there would be some Photoshop and touch-ups. As for music show broadcasts, their schedules and lineups are set months in advance. Ori was incredibly stressed after a full year of training and dieting, so a week before Music Bank, the CEO of her agency instructed her to take a break so she could perform in her best condition. However, during that week she gained a significant amount of weight, so much so that she was unable to fit into her original stage outfit, and her staff had to scramble to get her a new one at the last minute. She went on to say of the performance, Ori was a talented girl and a good singer. She was very young and of course very nervous. It was her first ever performance and a live television broadcast at that. While appearing on Mnet in 2014, UV member and former Music Bank MC Yoo Si-yoon said Ori performed comfortably during rehearsal and did well, but he thought she was not a serious singer, instead a gimmick or a concept singer. Following her debut stage, Ori returned to her agency for retraining. Being of the mindset that all publicity is good publicity, the CEO of her agency wanted to capitalize on the buzz surrounding her and began preparing for a comeback to show her real talent. These plans, however, would be abandoned as Ori was unable to maintain a diet and continued to gain weight due to the stress of all the ongoing negative comments and attention. Ori would eventually leave her agency 2 months later after entering high school, effectively retiring from the industry. Despite her retreating from the public spotlight a long time ago, the conversation of spread of rumors about her continues to this day. Since there's so many different rumors surrounding Ori, I decided I wanted to break each one down individually. Unknown at the time, Ori's agency was Chang's Entertainment, a then subsidiary of Mnet Media, now called Stone Music Entertainment, a company under CJE&M. You know, the company that was responsible for the K-pop YouTube apocalypse not too long ago, the one that saw several K-pop YouTubers getting hit with copyright strikes all at the same time, and resulting in videos and some channels being outright deleted. Yeah, them. It's crazy just how many companies and labels Stone/CJE&M owns a percentage of or holds distribution and partnership deals with. The CEO of Chang's Entertainment was Jung Chang-hyun, and no, he was not Ori's father. Jung produced several groups and artists both before and after Ori's training period and eventual debut, dating all the way back to 2006. However, all of these acts failed to gain much public awareness. The song Bird from Ori's EP was actually a re-recording from company-made Shadow Project's previously released album. During my research, I came across a post on a Korean portal site wherein a user tries to make a case for Ori's father being Bang Joon-hyuk, chairman of Netmarble, the company behind popular mobile games such as Training Monsters, Marvel's Future Fight, and BTS World. He's also the cousin of Bang Ji-hyuk, better known as Hitman Bang, the CEO of Big Hit Entertainment. In 2018, he became the second largest shareholder in Big Hit after investing over 200 billion won into the company, but alas, again, this rumor is false. If you recall at the beginning of the video, I mentioned that Ori's father was not only Japanese, but also that he had passed away before her move to South Korea. Though I was unable to find much information on Jun Chang-hyun, Bang Jun-hyuk is of Korean descent, and at the time of making this video is very much alive. Having represented several other artists, it's clear that the agency Chang's Entertainment was not created solely for Ori to debut, therefore these rumors are also false. Album information and track lists for Ori's debut EP can still be found on Yes Asia and Genie Korea. Please note that these descriptions have been translated to Korean from English, so there may be some mistakes or mistranslations. The descriptions state, "The secret weapon prepared by producer and composer Jung Chang-hyun is the new ballad-style singer Ori, which has never been seen before. It can be said that the training of the new singer was several times more difficult than others because she had a physical defect called obesity." She required twice the effort of others, and even though she was a child, she couldn't rest for a day and was particularly passionate and willing to do the training. The singer's real name is Tanaka Sayori, and only Duck was extracted from Sayori, giving her the nickname Ori. The description goes on to briefly tell the story of the ugly duckling. The 6th track on Ori's EP is also titled Ugly Duckling. While this does give some weight to the claims of the concept, and as previously mentioned, there were further attempts made at weight loss, I was unable to track down anything in regards to plastic surgery, though this is a very common practice in the idol industry. From here we have to get into what I think is the wildest rumor surrounding Ori, her alleged re-debut as a member of a girl group under a different name. Sticking with the potential ugly to beautiful transformation, many Netizens began to theorize that Girls' Day's Mina was none other than Ori after receiving plastic surgery. I came across several blogs and forums where this has been discussed, with some users posting photos comparing the two singers' age and facial shapes. This rumor grew so much that Mina was asked about it during a television appearance, and her agency Dream Tea Entertainment felt the need to release a statement. While comparing Mina's photos with those of Ori from her mini homepage account around the time that these rumors were at their peak, their appearances are noticeably different, as well as their birth dates and real names. I originally started researching information about Ori back in September of last year, after coming across an article about her on a K-pop urban legends forum. Most of the articles written about her around that time stopped at her disappearing after her debut stage, and a couple of videos have been released since then telling her story, but a lot of information has been left out or was still unknown. Through my research, I was able to discover that her disastrous debut stage was in fact not her last public performance. I was able to track down some photos from another performance of Snowfall that took place during a music festival shortly after her debut stage. This performance was sadly never broadcast. A year later, in August 2010, a sign was spotted in front of a department store stating that Ori was set to perform, and I was able to find a few photos of a woman who looks to be Ori performing with what would later be found out would be her brother. Later in 2011, during an NBC special focused on actress Kim Tae-hee, during which she attended mass at a cathedral, Ori was spotted in the background. Then again in 2013, Ori popped up in the audience during an episode of SNL Korea. In January of 2019, the Korean YouTube channel Dangnim Review uploaded an interview with a woman only known as T, who alleged she's a former trainee of a sister company of Ori's old agency, and relayed information she stated she heard secondhand from representatives from Ori's former company. T went on to try and clear up some of the rumors I discussed earlier in this video. Of Ori's father being an industry insider or broadcast network president, she had this to say. Ori was just a trainee who had been there for a year. Similar to IU, she debuted with the concept of someone who was a ballad singer with the feel of an idol. The company just wanted to debut a solo female. This rumor is completely false from what I know. When asked about her relationship with Ori and why she was speaking up, T stated, "I am not her friend, but I know her situation, so it hurts to know how she was treated. For her, 10 years have passed, but everyone still remembers what happened. She suffered a lot, so I just want to be like, no, it was actually like this." When asked if she knew anything about how Ori is presently, she said, "Since all of this happened when I was a trainee, I don't really know about her current situation. From what I've heard, she's just living an average life." On November 10, 2019, an article titled "Singer Ori's Status" was posted on a Korean community site. The poster stated they had spoken directly to Ori and relayed their conversation via the Namyu wiki site. According to the poster, Ori had this to say about her past in the music industry. After my debut, I tried to lose weight. After the debut stage, I suffered a lot of trouble, bad luck, and ridicule. I left Chang's Entertainment 2 months after the debut. Afterwards, I went to an art high school and I tried hard to not give up the way of music. But I soon realized my own limitations. The poster went on to say, during her high school days, Ori experienced extreme stress, depression, and gastrointestinal diseases. Speaking in regards to the 2010 performance in front of the Shinsegae department store, the poster relayed, I participated solo, and with my brother, I participated to see if I can still perform. However, this performance was her last. At this time, she lost her desire for music, according to the post. Sayori went on to graduate from Incheon Talent University, and in 2017, at the suggestion of relatives living in Japan, Sayori moved back and is currently settled in Tokyo. The Namyu post stated in regards to her move back to Japan, I worked in an international airport duty-free shop, and I lived buried in the world. I am ready to continue. Not giving up on my dreams will be challenging. I hope to see you again as a composer. And there you have it. That is all the information we have right now about Ori's past and her current whereabouts. I definitely think that there is still a lot that we don't know, and also a lot of things that can't really be verified at this time. Personally, I'd be interested to know how she came about joining her agency, if she auditioned or if she was scouted. Ori's story makes me a little sad. It really sucks that for a long time you had people ridiculing, criticizing, making fun of a literal child. I don't think her debut stage was as bad as a lot of people make it out to be. Definitely there were some missed notes. You can definitely hear her nerves in her voice. While researching, I listened to her EP multiple times, and there are actually a couple songs on there I really like, but I will say that her vocals were not very strong. Even with the mixing and auto-tune and everything that they do on albums, you can still hear that her vocals were not completely developed yet. I do think she definitely had potential, and I think she could have benefited from debuting with a duo or group. Over time, with multiple comebacks and training and practicing, I think her vocals could have developed. But like I said, I do feel that they were fairly weak, especially for someone that was being pushed as a ballad singer. But I do hope that she doesn't completely give up on music, because even now, if that post was actually from Ori, it does sound like she does still have a passion for music. And right now, a lot of older Korean artists who debuted or were popular 10, 20 years ago seem to be having more luck and a little bit of a resurgence in Korea right now. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Did you watch her debut stage? What did you think of it? Did you think it was that bad? Have you listened to her EP? What did you think of it? Would you like to see her come back and release new music either as a vocalist, or do you think she would have more luck as a composer? And if she does even come back as a composer, do you think she should use a different name other than Ori or Sayori or her Korean name? Basically, I feel like if she were to come back and use any of her known names, a lot of the focus is not going to be on whatever the music is. Every article and every interview is going to be focused on her debut stage and what happened 10 years ago. So I'd be interested to know what you guys think about that. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and click the like button. And if you're finding my channel for the first time, please subscribe. This video took a lot of work and effort. As I mentioned in the video, I started researching this back in September of last year, and then life kind of got in the way, so I had to put it on the back burner. And then I picked it back up about a month ago, and it took a long time to put this all together. If you guys like what I'm doing on my channel here, please consider supporting the channel on Utip. You have the option of making a one-time donation or donating monthly. And if you don't have money to donate, which I know a lot of us don't right now, you can also watch ads on the site, and that also will benefit the channel. So if you'd like to help me and the channel out, I will link to that down below. But that is it for this one, and I will see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys are all staying safe, and please remember to K-pop responsibly.